So is this blade so nice that I had to buy it twice? Or is it a total quality control, buyer beware scenario? Welcome back everybody to another blade review here at Untitled Tactical. I'm Aaron, coming at you from our newly built studio here in the Untitled Tactical garage, hanging out with you guys. If you've been following along on social media, shared with you that over Labor Day weekend, my wife and I cranked out this new backdrop for you and me to get out the information to you guys and just have fun talking about gear, breaking stuff down, and helping you guys make wise decisions. And today, we're taking a look at the Gerber pledge that I paid $21.99 to $22, I think, for over on Blade HQ. The lines and designs just made a lot of sense for me, and particularly at that price point, because a few months ago, I picked up the Gerber Zilch that I paid, I think, $18 for. And sure, it's made overseas. It's got the Chinese alphabet soup 7CR. It's not the greatest steel, but for under $20, it's a great lightweight EDC blade. I was very happy with the profile, the designing, how it fit in my hand, how it worked. And I know a lot of you guys did too when you're on a tight budget. It's a great little just stocking stuff for gift item. And so when I saw this, I'm like, man, look at those lines. Look at the profile. I mean, that is sick looking. But before I tell you what I liked about it, we got to give a big shout out to today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. They've been a regular sponsor here for over a year now, and I'm so glad because they carry so many well-established brands, from Leatherman multi-tools to Spyderco pocket knives. They got 511 and Vertex equipment and apparel, footwear from Merrill and Solomon and Danner, just to name a few, as well as their established brand of LA Police Gear equipment and apparel. We've always seen good results with what LA Police Gear offers us, the gear lover, on the market. So use that hyperlink below that we have in the description box. It lets them know that we sent you, and you can get a 10% off promo code in the description box as well that applies site-wide, so it'll save you a little bit of money on your next gear purchase. And so with that, let's go ahead and get back to it. And what stood out to me right away is just the lines. The designing is super slim. It's fully ambidextrous. They put that nice pocket clip there with a good pinch point. Sure, loop over would have been a little bit better, but pinch point oftentimes is more agreeable depending on the pair of pants that you have, and because it's kind of a longer handle, makes it so that for shallower pockets in like dress slacks, it won't be like popping itself out of a loop over anyway. But you can unscrew that, and then they had this really nice shelf lip that I haven't done too many blades with that type of deployment, and the deployment is so smooth. But you can just unscrew it, swap it over to the other side, so it's a completely ambidextrous blade. They even thought through the grind lines right there, making sure that the sweep just went right past it, so you're not gonna get bogged down with that really cool gray on the polymer, things like, Zytel, glass reinforced nylon style. There's some really nice texturing on there that you can see. All the angles were well rounded, steel liners in there. Great liner lock. I mean, the liner lock hits right where it's supposed to be. It's got a little bit of rock and then solid up and down. Good stop bar right there that really snapped into place. And even the liner lock itself was not like thin, kind of cheap feeling. It's milled, has a little bit of jimp on it, like hits, just so you can kind of feel it, grab it, close it up. You got the back cut-ins with the tubes and those spacers right there. If we can get I'm still figuring out the lighting here a little bit. There we go. Just excellent. Really well done. The cool little pivot accent on one side, and then just your pivot screw on the other. About a 3.7 inch blade overall with that reverse tanto. Even has like a little bit of a sweep on it that just, I mean, it's like zippity doo-dah. Going through packaging, of whatever package that you just arrived that you ordered, using it to slice up fruit or vegetables. It was great. I mean, I was super pleased, very happy with it. But something began to kind of gnaw at me. I was like, something's not right with this blade. As I began to use it, do a little bit of testing right away, carry it a little bit. I'm like, something doesn't seem right here. What's going on here? I looked down the center. I was like, centering, maybe just a micron off, but not bad. It's not rubbing on anything. Looks good. And then I looked down the blade, and I don't know how well you guys are going to see this on frame. There is a bow in the steel. the blade literally bows, and when I put my level up to it, you could see light through the connection point of the bow. And so it is bowing to the side. I'm like, what the heck? This is obviously a bad heat treat, something like that. I hadn't done any batoning or dropped it ever with the blade open or anything like that. I'm like, what happened to cause that bowing in the blade? Well, okay, you know, maybe it was just a bad batch or something. So I went over and ordered another one. The blade was straight with no bowing, but the pivot, at the pivot, it's kicked off about 2 or 3 degrees to the point where now, look at that. Look at that. Just look at it. Just look at it. That is atrocious. It's totally bing, kicked off to the side. But again, when you look at it down the center, it looks centered. I don't know what's going on over there with the quality control. I'm assuming like the pivot was maybe drilled slightly crooked on this model or something so that the whole blade, when it's open, is cockeyed to the side. I mean, it's really bad. Very noticeable once you open it up and you start looking at it and you're like, what in the world is going on here? And it's really sad because for 22 bucks, every other aspect, not only is it stylish, all of the little details like the milling and just the attention to detail on every other, just like on a CAD design, you're just like, whoa. And on paper, you're like, whoa, that looks cool. You know what? If I just want a fun new blade to play with, not only is it gonna slice like crazy, it's got some really cool profiles and designs. And then the quality control just like, you know, crashes and burns twice on 2 different models in 2 different ways. And so it's sad, honestly. And I want to tell you that this is a sweet knife, you know, great stocking stuffer as we come into the holidays, things like that. But currently, this makes no sense after 2 models being completely different, but completely messed up in different ways. It's just sad. And I really hope that Gerber can get their quality control lined up. Not only in their overseas factories, but also here in America, because they have on paper some really cool designs. The visuals really connect, at least with me, and I think for a lot of us in the marketplace. But then the execution of it being built and then the quality control coming out of the factories just is all over the place, and it's very frustrating. And I think if they can dial that in and get that locked in hard, then and really good, and consistency of quality in the fit and finish and quality control, we can have some sick tools coming out of Gerber. But right now, guys, I would look elsewhere. Save your money, buyer beware on the pledge. This pledge, it's very disappointing because I was pretty pumped to, you know, get a very budget-friendly blade and tell you guys that it was going to be sweet, and 2 in a row, just not good. So appreciate you guys. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.